Today I'm going to show you how we store all of the food for our family of 8. We usually do a 2-week food shop, and I have been sharing with you guys some of our grocery hauls and just kind of the food that we get and what we eat over those 2 weeks. And this week I thought I would share with you how we store it in our fridges and our freezers and our pantry shelf, because we don't really have a traditional pantry with like a door on it that you can shut. We had a food delivery late last night and it was really dark, so I couldn't film. So I thought this would be a good way to kind of show you what we got for this next 2 weeks, and also show you how we store food for this many people in kind of a tight space. It's not really a tight space, we've got plenty of space, but without like a traditional pantry and stuff. So that is what I'm going to show you now. Over here is where we store most of our fruit. I like to not have tons of stuff on the counter ideally, but it just doesn't really work in this house. We don't have enough space, so we store a lot of our fruit in this big bowl, and then some of it makes its way depending on what we have up onto the windowsill. We've got pineapples up there now ripening. And then over here is where we store our eggs. I know most people probably keep their eggs in the fridge, but you can actually just keep them out at room temperature as long as you don't live in an area where it's really, really hot all the time. And so we keep our eggs out. These will definitely be gone in 2 weeks, and I have never had a bad egg. We also keep our tomatoes out on the counter because they just taste better, I think, when they are left out than when they're stored in the fridge. And now I will show you. We have 2 little fridges in our house, which I'm very thankful for. We used to have a very small fridge in the flat that we lived in before. I've talked about it in a video previously, so we are very thankful. We still have small fridges, but we have 2 of them now, and I am so grateful for that. So, hey Mila, what are you getting? So this is our first little fridge that's right in our kitchen, just underneath the countertop. And up at the top, I usually store all of our yogurt. So we've got a bunch of Greek yogurt up here. We've got some turkey breast lunch meat and some pepperoni. We had pita pizzas last night, so that was what that was for. We've got some pancetta up there for a soup. And then I also have a bunch of butter and cheese, and there is cream cheese in the back there. We've got some leftover pasta.
And some juice.
And some juice, yep. We have, I usually store condiment kind of things here, so we've got jalapenos and mustard, and there's other types of mustard and salad dressing back there. And then this time I got some of these baby cheeses because these Baby Bell cheese were on sale, and Anna was really excited to take some of those in her lunches. And then down at the bottom, I have a bunch of extra cheese that we will use for different recipes. And I have 2 big things of mushrooms that we take the plastic off. They come totally wrapped up in plastic, but if you take the plastic off and let some air get in, they last a lot longer. We have 3 aubergines. That's for a recipe that I'm doing this week. And then I usually try and keep some fruit down here that the kids can grab once the fruit in the fruit bowl is gone, and then we just have a little bit of juice and some oat milk. And then I have a very wrapped audience. And then over here we just have some cream cheese and Parmesan cheese and more dairy stuff, and then more oat milk. We have some regular milk because I made some mashed potatoes this week, and I just think it tastes a lot better with normal milk. If you put almond or oat milk in it, it tastes a little bit weird. What's that?
Pickles.
We've got some pickles, mayonnaise, some orange juice, because I have been sick the past week and have been having a lot of that with vitamin C in it. So that is our first little fridge. Okay, and then over here we have a kind of utility all-in, maybe I should turn the light on in here. all-in room where we have our laundry and our like not pantry and our other fridge. So our other fridge is this one here, and actually a sad story, we broke, this used to be able, it was a shelf that you could put milk or juice and things in, but we broke it and we need to get it fixed, so nothing lives there now. But as you can see, it is very full and it's not very big. So usually I keep all of our salad stuff in here. So we've got salad up here, romaine lettuce, we've got a few leftovers up there. We've got 2 packets of beef because I'm gonna do a beef stew tonight. This is just like a liquid vitamin supplement that I was taking because I'm not feeling good. We've got 2 punnets of grapes and some leftover wholemeal tortilla wraps, more salad, some more leftovers, that's leftover chicken that I'm gonna put in some soup. We've got a bunch of blueberries that will be gone in an instant. My kids love them. And then down here we've got 2 huge big bags of spinach that we will throw into salads, and then most of it we'll probably just cook up and have with dinner. And then we've got some homemade applesauce that I give to the baby a lot and she loves it, and cucumbers, some spring onions, some bell peppers, and then in these drawers here I just keep a bunch more vegetables. This fridge is usually pretty much totally full of just produce. So we've got carrots, there's a couple oranges and apples and lemons down there, some parsley, some celery, and then this one is totally full of broccoli, and then there's a few more carrots at the bottom. So that is that fridge. So this is the bottom. So the fridge is up here behind that cupboard, and then the bottom is our indoor freezer. We've got 4 little drawers, and actually, I'm not gonna lie, the top drawer is totally stuck shut. So obviously we need to defrost this, but I know what's in there. There's some butternut squash and there's some puff pastry and some peas because we just put them away last night. And then here we have more veggies, more squash, more frozen veggies, sweet corn, mango for our smoothies. In this one we've got some potato wedges that we have sometimes as bad for you convenience food along with a meal, some sweet corn, a couple blueberries, frozen bananas, and then this bottom drawer just has some leftover chippies, and down at the bottom we have some more frozen veggies and some chopped coriander. Okay, and then let me show you where we keep all of our sort of pantry things and bread and stuff. So at the moment, we don't have a great place to store bread. We just don't have a lot of space. So I brought this really big bowl that I got at a charity shop. Actually, that's not true. I think I got the smaller one at a charity shop, and then my mom found a matching one and got me this one for Christmas or my birthday. So at the moment, I just pile all of our bread things there. We've got some wholemeal wraps behind the bread. There's a random bag of tortilla crisps there, and then as there is space, as space opens up in the fridge when we eat salad and stuff, I will move some of the bread into there so that it doesn't go bad, and we usually never have bread go bad. And then we've also got some rolls here that keep, and then you just throw them in the oven because we're gonna have some soup over the next 2 weeks. You like rolls? And then this here is our pantry. So we don't have a pantry that has like a door that you can shut, so we just have this cheap IKEA shelf that we got 5 or 6 years ago, and it works great. We store stuff on it, and yeah, it's worked for quite a few years, and this is what its job has been, is to hold food. So we've got a couple cereals up here. I usually store granola bars or things like that in here. We've got some hot dog buns because Carlo got the kids some hot dogs when I was sick and we needed a quick, easy meal. And then this is where we keep the bread that we're currently in use. So we've got some bread here and bagels and lots of oatmeal because a lot of people have that for breakfast every morning. And we've just got some oat cakes and then some linseed stuff that we sprinkle on oatmeal or cereal. And then down here is where we store, no, not milk yet. Down here is where we store our potatoes. So we've got potatoes and sweet potatoes that I still need to come out of the bag. I've got another one of these just cheap plastic boxes that I usually store the stuff in, but it's dirty. I need to wash it out. So these still need to go in there. More potatoes, butternut squash, a bunch of onions, and then down here is where we store all of our canned goods. So we have like chickpeas and baked beans and refried beans and some extra mayonnaise. Yeah, and we've got some rice over in the corner there. And then, thank you girls for pulling everything out. And then I usually just kind of stack our milk for the week like this. It doesn't need to go in the fridge until you crack it open. And as far as milk goes, we usually get almond or oat, or this week we have coconut milk, but I just get whatever's on sale that week. And this week it was coconut milk, so that's what we're having. And then over down at the side, we just have some sparkling water and some special juice to mix in it. So that is our pantry setup. And then over here is kind of the rest of where I would store pantry items. So in here we have stuff like jam and ketchup and peanut butter, and there's some instant coffee and all that kind of jazz fits in here. And it's a pretty small space, so we kind of have to stack it up.
And some honey.
Some honey. Here, let's leave it like this though, because it's almost out. I'm trying to get it down. That's where we keep that. And then this other tiny little cupboard is where we keep the rest of our dried goods. So I've got baking stuff up here, like baking powder and yeast and things, food coloring. And we've got our beans.
And some pet food.
And then down at the bottom we have some snacks and dried pasta and extra olive oil and stuff. And this cupboard is kind of annoying because the opening to it is very small, but then it's underneath this counter and it goes all the way back, all the way to here, which would be an amazing amount of space that we could use, but because you can't really access it, it's very hard to put stuff back in there. So I do actually have two. There's a box up here, and then there's one down here around the corner where I store things that I really don't use that often. So I have some like bulk bags of rice and flour and that kind of thing that I put back there. But pretty much if stuff goes back in there, it's not coming out for a while because it is really hard to get back in there, and you have to take out everything that is in the front of the cupboards to get back into that bit. Last but not least, we need to walk outside to our garage that is behind our house because that is where our other little freezer is. So let me show you what's going on in here. So in here we have our dryer, so we do have to bring our laundry out, and then we have this little freezer that we got for 50 pounds about 6 years ago, and it has worked really well, and it is so nice to have a little bit of extra space. So in the top here, I usually keep fruit stuff for smoothies. I got some of these on sale a couple weeks ago, and there were so many, I bought so many that I just decided to throw some in the freezer, and actually they are so good just to munch on frozen. The kids love them. And then this drawer, as you can see, is having a little bit of a problem, and it's all my fault. So that drawer, we had the door of our freezer left open once, just a crack, but a bunch of ice built up on the front of the freezer, and I had a day when I was trying to get it open, and I gave it a gentle tap with my foot, And obviously I was a little bit frustrated trying to get it open because I totally broke the whole thing. So now, moral of the story is don't kick freezers when you're trying to get them open. You should never force something. So now we have to like very carefully open it up. But it still works to keep stuff frozen. So we've got frozen veggies, some frozen fish, more mango. This is some chicken down here, and then we've got more chicken, some frozen salmon. There is some beef mince back here, some different recipes that we're doing this week. And then down at the bottom, there's just more. We've got some beef stir fry. We're gonna have beef stroganoff over the next 2 weeks, and that seemed like the best option. And then we've got some frozen chicken breast in here, and then down here we just have some African food. This is pondu, or some people call it sambe. It is pounded cassava leaves. Traditionally they would pound it in like a huge mortar and pestle kind of a deal, like a wooden one. I think probably now they just grind it up, but we get it from the African shop and make a dish called pondu, which we have on rice, which is really good. Okay, so that is pretty much all of the food for our family of 8 for 2 weeks, and kind of how we store it. It's not really perfect. We can't get everything into cupboards, but it works really well for our family, and we are thankful for the space that we have. So I am going to finish this video now. I've got a bunch of girls who are desperate to have some of that watermelon that you saw. Ouch, don't pull my hair. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.